know from our activity yesterday that all the interior angles of a triangle add up to 180 degrees. In fact, here it is stated. This is called the Triangle Sum Theorem. Okay, the sum of the angle measures of a triangle is 180 degrees. Okay, there's a little proof here. We're going to skip that. Okay, we're going to only worry about we're going to get into proofs later. Okay, but not right now. The next page, on page 314, okay, there's actually one more exploration we're going to do, not today, but later in a different unit, okay, that deals with actually finding the interior angles in any polygon, okay. I already told Jaden that for quadrilaterals, okay, the interior angles of a quadrilateral add to 360, but there's actually a general formula for pentagons, hexagons, heptagons, and octagons. Oh, thank you, sir. Okay. So, we'll get to that later, though, because that's not for this unit. We'll have a separate polygons unit, so we're not interested in that right now. So we're going to skip over these next two pages and go right to page 317, okay? And at the top of page 317 here where it says the explain to. Okay? So this is kind of what we saw earlier today with what Matt was talking about for the warm-up, okay? An exterior angle is an angle formed by one side of a polygon and the extension of an adjacent side. Remember that word adjacent means next to. So if we look over the picture here, you can see an exterior angle in the picture. And its exterior angle has one side of the polygon as one of its sides, and an extended side as the other side of that exterior angle. Okay? And again, it's exterior because that means outside, right? So it's outside the triangle there. Exterior angles form a linear pair with the interior angle. So right here, this angle together with this angle, they add up to 180 degrees, right? Because they're linear pair. They're supplementary. Okay? Now, you'll also see labeled in the picture here these two interior angles, but they're not just called interior. I mean, they're called interior, but they're more special than that. They're called remote interior angles. Now, what do you think about these two angles makes them remote in relationship to the exterior? Oh, thank you, Jason. What makes these two angles here remote when we talk about the exterior angle right here? Why are they called remote interior angles? Any ideas? Exactly, Julio. They are more far away than this interior angle right here. They're the two distant ones, right? This one is adjacent or next to the exterior angle, but these two are the two farther away ones, okay? And so that's why they're called remote interior angles, right? When you use a remote control, right, what does a remote control allow you to do? It allows you to control the TV from far away. Right? Believe it or not, at one point, remote controls did not exist. You had to get up out of your seat and change the channel on your TV, right? Or you can talk about, if you go to like a remote location, that's a location that's like very, very far away. So the remote interior angles are the two far away angles from the exterior angle, okay? So, we're not going to do this little investigation. We're going to just jump right down here to the theorem, okay? And the theorem says that the measure of an exterior angle of a triangle is equal to the sum of the measures of its remote interior angles. Okay, so the measure of an exterior angle, so like the angle, if you look down here, this angle 4 is equal to the sum of the measures of its remote interior angles. So angle 4 here is going to be equal to the sum of what two angles here? 1 and 2, the two remote interior. So 1 plus 2 will give us 4. Okay? So we're going to turn the page here and actually look at an example problem with that. Okay? So on page 318 now we are, page 318. Okay? And we're going to look at the top here. Okay, you'll see a triangle with some interior angles drawn and then also some exterior angles. So let's do this exterior angle right here first. Okay, the one that kind of goes from there to there. Okay, what will the measure of this exterior angle have to be? Well, let's look here. I can look at this exterior angle and I see from my triangle here, these two interior angles are the further away ones. So that means what can I do to get this angle? What can I do with these two things? Add them. So what's 60 plus 40? 100. So it's 100 degrees is that exterior angle. Okay, not too shabby. All right, so that angle right there is 100 degrees. Now let's try and do this angle right here. All right, now for this one, is 40 degrees a remote interior angle for this angle?
No.
Yeah, it's not remote. It's right next to it. So we can't use the 40. So what is the remote to it? Well, the 60 is remote, right? It's farther away, right? There's my exterior angle. So this is remote. This is like the further interior angle. The 60 is, but so is this one, which we don't know what this measure is. How do we get 80, right? So yeah, 180 minus 60 minus 40 gives us 80 degrees. So that means this angle here, the other interior angle, is 80 degrees. There's actually another way to get 80 degrees here besides using the fact that all three angles add up to 180. What's another way? 180 minus the 100, because if this is a linear pair, right, this angle and this angle make a straight line, so 180 minus the 100 exterior would give us that interior as well. Yes, the exterior and then its adjacent interior will always add up to 180 like that. They should.
What's the adjacent?
Adjacent means next to. So 100 degrees is adjacent to this 80 degree angle, but 100 degrees is not adjacent to the 60 degree angle, right? Because they're not right next to each other. Okay, so back to this one. Here's our exterior angle. Okay, so what two angles do we have to add together here? 60 and 80, yeah. So it equals 140. Okay. And then this last exterior angle right here. Okay. Ramel, what two angles are we going to add together for this one? What are our two remote interior angles? Is 60 remote to this one? Nope. So what are the two remote interior angles there, Ramel? Remember, they need to be inside the triangle still. So name two of the angles inside the triangle, but not right next to it. So it's not the 60. What are the other two there? Oh, you can't read it? Okay. 40 is one of them. And what else? 80. That's right. Very good. And so 40 plus 80 is 120 degrees. Okay?
And then we add all those
So, yeah, so the next set of directions, which is kind of interesting here, it says, oh, sorry, well, I guess in the discussion. So we kind of were doing this section right here, and it says, so add them together. So what is 100 plus 140 plus 120? 360. That's kind of interesting, right? That's an important kind of number that we see pop up. And in fact, this will always be true, which is kind of crazy to think about. But for any polygon, if you add up all the exterior angles, it will always end up being 360 degrees, which is kind of weird to think about. But yes, any polygon, when you add up all the exterior angles, it will be 360 degrees like that. Okay? Okay. So let's jump down here now to some... It was 120, yeah, sorry, Mike.
No, like, on the line.
Oh, right here?
Yeah.
Well, 100 plus 120 plus 140, yeah, it's 360. Okay. All right, so questions on any of that so far? All right, so let's jump down here to the bottom and look at some problems with some variables. Okay? So here you can see we don't have quite as much information as before, right? It's less stuff to worry about here. We want to find the measure of angle B. But the problem with trying to find the measure of angle B is it has a variable in it, right? We can't solve for B because we have that variable Z. So first thing, before we can find angle B, what do we actually have to find first? What Z is, right? Because we don't know what Z is. So let's find what Z is. So that means we have to set up some sort of relationship here between this exterior angle and these two remote interior. Okay? So Xander, how should these three things be able to be related? How can we maybe set up an equation here? Divide these 2 by 2. So that's, let's see here. So we don't want to divide by 2 here. Remember, what was the thing we just talked about with the exterior angles? If you have an exterior angle, it must be equal, so 145 in this case, must be equal to what? the sum of the two remote interior angles, right? So what are my remote interior angles here? So so what's A? It's 2z, right? Plus 5z minus 2. So you add the two remote interiors together, it has to equal that exterior angle. Okay? Question you gave?
So why is it, I get like y is 145, but like why is it equal to 125? Why is it equal to interior angle?
Like, why are these two remote interiors going to add up to make this exterior angle?
Yeah, because like what if there was another line coming out of A, like example up above?
Oh, so like a line right here?
Sure, but let's say that was 160. How would you know
Okay.
which one to equal it to?
So just hypothetically, if this exterior angle were 160, it would be equal to the sum of 5z minus 2, and then whatever this interior angle is, but we don't know it because it's not given to us.
Because the 2z is close to it, right?
Right, because the 2z is adjacent or next to, or yeah, close to it.
Okay.
Exactly. So that's why we know the 145 here has got to be 2z plus 5z minus 2. These two angles are the remote, the far away angles. And you'll always have two remote interiors to the triangle here. Okay? So there's the setup, okay? And we can then, combine like terms to get 145 equals 7z minus 2.
Don't you add 2?
And then add 2 to both sides. And then divide both sides by 7. And you get 21. Thank you. Okay? And so we're done, right? 21 is our final answer.
No.
No.
Subtract from 60.
Find the measure of angle B.
You can't have...
Is this the measure of angle B?
No.
No. You got to plug it in. 5z minus 2. So 5
21.
times 21 minus 2.
5 times 21 is like 125.
So, yes, thank you. 105 minus 2 is 103 degrees, and that is our final answer. That is our final answer. And it's obtuse angle, that's right. So that means this triangle is what kind of triangle then? By its angles.
Oh, it's
Scaling.
Well, by its angles. Scaling is the side. You just said it, Derek, actually. Yeah, it's obtuse. Yeah, it's obtuse. Yeah. It's an obtuse angle, so it's got to be an obtuse triangle. Okay. All right, let's try this next one here. Just make sure we've got it okay, and then I'll have you guys try some on your own here. Okay. So, or try one on your own. So let's try letter B, angle PRS. So PRS is what we want to find here. Okay. So let's try and do our setup. Okay, so Haley P, how would we set this up? I see an exterior angle here. I see our two remote interior angles. So how are we going to set this up?
Do 90 plus x plus 2 equals 3x minus.
Very good. Okay, the interior angle, the remote interior angle 90 plus the remote interior x plus 2 has to make this exterior angle 3x minus 8. And that's exactly right.
3x minus 8 plus 90 equals x plus 2, right?
No, because if it were equal to x plus 2, that would be saying that x plus 2 is an exterior angle.
But how do you know to put it in that order, though?
In this order?
Yeah.
Because these are the two remote interiors, right? So this is our exterior angle right here, and these are the two remote interiors from that, right? They're the two angles that are far away from our exterior here.
So there'll always be one line, not two.
Yeah, like in general, yes. Like a problem like this we saw here. In general, you won't see all these drawn. Generally, it'll just have one for us there.
Because like if there was a second line,
It will make it a little confusing, right? Well, let me see.
because how do you know how to?
You always. So you want to start with the exterior angle here, and then you just have to go to the two angles that are furthest away. These two.
Yeah.
So then this one is equal to this one plus this one. If I were to draw a line out here and talk about like this, exterior angle, I would again say this is equal to the far away one Q and the far away one here R. But I don't know what R is.
Right. So like it says find measure PRS.
Shh, guys, hey, look, we have a question going on. You should be listening, or at least quiet so that other people can listen, okay? Because just because you don't have a question doesn't mean other people don't have a question. So please listen, or at least be quiet, okay? So other people can. Yes, okay, go ahead. Sorry.
So let's say like it says measure PRS, but let's say like it's talking about the exterior angle.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. So we're going to combine like terms here. All right. So then that gets x plus 92 equals 3x minus 8. All right. So Haley, would you mind continuing to solve that for us here? What are you going to do here?
You have to, well, I would subtract x.
Subtract x from both sides, and I think that's the good way to go. I always like to get rid of the smaller of the two variables, so 1x is smaller than 3x. So I'm left with 92 equals 2x minus 8. Okay, great. And then what here?
And then you add 8 to 92.
Add 8, so we get 100 equals 2x.
And then you divide that by 2.
Divide both sides by 2, you got it.
X
X
equals
is 50. Okay? Shh. And so we're done, right? No, Mr. Whitmire, stop trying to trick me. That's right, okay? So what do we still have to do here, Haley?
You have to put 15 for x.
That's right, 50 goes in for the x. 3 times 50 minus the 8. So 150 minus 8 is 142. That is your final answer. That is the angle, measure angle PRS.
So you use the exterior angle to fill in the answer.
Once you solve for the x, you go back to what you're trying to solve for here, angle PRS. We must never lose track of what we're trying to solve for. We're trying to solve for angle PRS, which is this exterior angle. The exterior angle is 3x minus 8, but once you have x, you just plug the x in. Okay? That's the idea. All right, so I want you guys to try number 11 on the next page. On the top of the next page, please try number 11. Okay, sorry. So people aren't done right now. I apologize. Try number 11 on the top of the next page, please. Okay, and I will come around and help as necessary. All right, but please try number 11 on the top of the next page. Dominic, we're right there.
I don't know what angle this is.
Okay, so which one of these is the exterior angle? That's so this one is equal to those two guys. Okay? Josh, you gonna try this one too? Yes? You might try it. Oh,
What I
thanks, buddy.
plus the sound is 3. 2 equals 3 plus 7.
What's the exterior angle?
That
Right, but the relationship is the exterior angle is equal to the sum of the two remote interiors. You're right, but you still, well, what do you need to get in? You need to solve for x.
Great, that's what I'm doing.
But understand, this is not the relationship. It's the exterior angle is equal to the sum of the two remote interiors. That's the relationship you use, and then when you solve that, you'll get x, and then you'll be able to plug it back in.
What aspect you said this was from? Relative chapter you said?
It's a positive step.
I think I did.
Okay, not quite. So what you said under, what's your exterior angle? That's an outside angle. That one. And that should equal this plus this. So you need 63 for this, so 6. That's right. Is the exterior equal to the sum of the two remote interiors? That's a good start, yep.
63 plus 3x.
Sorry. That's what we're going to find eventually, but you have to use what's in the picture here. This is your exterior angle. This is equal to the sum of what?
Yeah, exactly. Wait.
The exterior angle is equal to the sum of the two remote interior angles, right? What are the two remote interior angles? That one and that one. And it should be equal to that. You know, it's good. Good job. This is not easy stuff, right? It's a little bit tricky.
You put your 180 minus 160 gets 30.
So this angle would be 30.
Why though?
Because this angle and this angle together make a straight line, right? So that would be a 30. Where?
Right here,
That angle is,
straight line.
okay, but there's no other angle next to it though. See, this 150 is next to this angle, so these two together make a straight line.
Okay, so then this would be 30,
Yeah.
that would be 60.
Let me see. D is twice that of E. So I would say call E like X, and D would be 2X. And so you can say X plus 2X equals 150. What's that? No, you have to do 12. You have to do 12. I just want to do 11. So what's the
That still doesn't make sense. Why are we doing X?
Because we don't know what the E and D are, but we do know that D is twice E. So if I say that E is X, then D could be 2X, and then you can set up an equation.
So how would you set up?
Well, label it, and I think you'll see. You'll have two remote interior angles and the exterior angle.
Okay. Just label it.
What if when you do 5x plus 50,
Uh-huh.
and then you do plus 63, or would it be equal to
Equals, and then what?
3x plus 7?
Plus 63.
Oh, okay.
You add the two remote interior angles.
Okay, great. You're not done yet, then, right?
I got it.
Angle N is what's defined. And sorry, angle N is what's defined here. You found your Okay, you gave it and got it. Yes, great, exactly.
But how do you solve that for
What's 2X plus X?
3X?
Okay. Okay.
6 plus 7. I mean, 63 plus 7.
No, they did.
3 plus 7?
78.
What?
You're right. That's good thinking.
Did you get X plus 10?
Yes, but you're not done yet, right? You got to find angle
So
N.
don't you have to do it would be 3x times 10 plus 7?
Yeah, 3 times 10.
Alright, we're gonna talk about that. We didn't have to do that one. We're just looking at the left right now. Yes, because X is 50. So X we have a question over here. Well, let's look at 11, right? Yeah, just 11. Yeah, we're gonna look at 12 though.
So you get 37 different.
Okay, I think we've got it, so let's take a look at it here. All right, so I'm going to go to, all right, so, I pick someone I haven't talked to. So Jaden, number 11 here. How did you set up the equation?
You do 5x equals 3x.
Just 5x? You mean 5x plus 50, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, 5x plus 50 equals, 3x plus 7
Plus 63.
plus 63. Shh, now guys, just pause here real quick, okay? So what would we do, right? 5x plus 50, excuse me, is the exterior angle. That must equal the sum of the two remote interiors. That's what Jaden did, and she's exactly right. Okay, sorry. Jaden, continue. What do we do now?
You add 63 plus 7.
Okay, and that gives us 70.
And then plus no. Then you add 50 plus 70.
So we have variables on both sides. What should we do with the variables here? Let's do that first.
You
Subtract the
3x.
3x. There you go. Yep, that's good. So we get 2x plus 50 equals 70. Then what?
Then you do
Subtract 50. Get 2x equals 20. And then last step,
you divide by 2.
divide by 2, so x is 10. Oh, careful there, Derek. What's the angle we're trying to solve for here? Yeah, be careful. Answer the question that's being asked. So, measure of angle N, Derek, where's that 10 going to go?
You would do it 3 times 10 plus 7.
That's right, which is
30 plus 7, which is 37.
37 degrees. Very good.
Angle then.
Okay. All right. You people asked me about 12, so let's take a few minutes here. We'll look at 12, and then I'll give you guys your assignment, okay? Because that's all after that, okay? So let's listen, please, for a few more minutes. We're going to go over this, and I'll get you guys your assignment. You can get started on it, so hopefully you have less homework for the weekend. Okay, so here is... Let's listen up, please. We're going over number 12 now. okay? If the exterior angle drawn measures 150 degrees, so there it's labeled for us, that here's the exterior angle and it's 150 degrees, and the measure of angle D is twice that of angle E. So angle D, there's no label there, but we do know it's got to be twice the measure of angle E. We want to find the measure of the two remote interior angles, which would be angle D and angle E here. So you notice there's nothing labeled, but we do know this relationship. So, Jaden?
Wait, was D be 300?
So be careful here. D is twice that of E, not twice the exterior angle. D is going to be twice angle E, which we don't know yet. So, right. So if D is twice that of E, we can call E angle X, because we don't know it, and D would be 2X. Exactly right, Jaden. Very good. Now, yes?
I did that different. I didn't do this. Like the 2x.
What did you do?
I did 150 and then I knew F had to be like an angle that would get 150, 180.
So you made this a 30-degree angle?
Yeah, and then E had to be double that, so I got 150, and then E had to be another like 30 of that, so that would be 90.
So you said E was 60, and then D was what?
90.
So now be careful here. So I like what you're thinking there. That was like some good thinking. However, does that match what you want? Is angle D twice angle E if you said this was 60 and this was 90?
I said,
Not quite, but you're on the right track there. You're on the right track.
I said E equals 50,
So that would be correct, yes. Okay, but now, so here's the thing. So there are two different ways to do this. Let's go with Jaden's way, and then we'll come back to Ryan, because she had a good, thought going there, but we're going to hold off on that, okay? So we have our exterior angle here, and we have these two remote interior angles. So how can we relate those three things, Skylar? What can we do here? If that's 150, what does that have to equal? What two remote interior angles to 150? What are the two remote interior angles? The 2x and the x, so it's going to be 2x plus x. So it gives us 3x is equal to 150. Divide both sides by 3. X is 50, like Matt said. Okay? Well, that's angle E. And then what's angle D?
Well, it's going to be double that time, so it'll be 100.
Double that. So exactly right, Jason. Very good. 2 times 50 or 100 degrees.
I got that, but if
Okay.
you kind of think about it, how do you know 50?
Oh, I'm sorry.
How do you know 50 isn't D? Because, you're doing 2x plus x equals 150, so how do you know the answer you get is going to be D?
Because how do we label these things in the first place? E we labeled as x. D was 2x. Why we label them that way? Because we're told D is twice the measure of E. So 2x is D. So if E is 50, that means D has to be 100. Must be by the relationship. Shh. In the back. Derek, Josh, listen up, please. Okay? So, do you understand that?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't really answer my question.
I did. So, the angle D is twice that of angle E. Do we know what angle E is? No. What do we use to represent something we don't know? A variable. So, x, we'll say. D is twice that, so it's 2x. Okay, so we set up the relationship with the equation here. You got that okay? Okay, solving for the x, you get x is 50. Okay, now, x is 50. What's angle E? It's x. What's x? 50. So angle E is 50. Okay?
Yeah, but
hold on. D is 2x. So 2 times 50, 100. There it is.
I guess, what you're saying is you, think about it, you kind of combine 2x and x, so
Yep.
it's kind of both.
It's
Because you're not going to get 2x equals 50, because then that's not finished.
so right. We can't just say 2x is equal to 50 here. That's not a relationship that we have. These two are the remote interior angles, so they must add up to make 150. Because these are the remote interior, and that's the exterior. Two remote interiors add together to make the exterior. So that's why we set that up that way, which gives us the relationship in the first place. Okay? You're right, you can't just set it up however you want. You have to follow, theorems that we know, rules that we know, right? And the rule we just talked about, exterior angles, they must add up to make 150. You're right, the x's do come together, right? But once you get that single x of 50 degrees, then we can go back to how we labeled this. If E was labeled angle X, that means it must be 50 degrees. If D was labeled angle 2X, it must be twice 50, which is 100. Must be. That's how we know those things must be true. Okay? Now, Ryan, just to finish off what you were saying earlier, Ryan noticed here, if this is 150 degrees, she said that this must be then 30 degrees. So how else could we have set this up? Besides using the exterior angles, what else could we have done to set this up with this picture that we have, the way it is? What else could we have done here? If we have all three angles of the triangle, what do we know they have to add up to? 180. So we could say x plus 2x plus 30 equals 180. Add the x and the 2x, we get 3x. Subtract 30 from both sides. Divide both sides by 3. X is 50 degrees. Okay? So the same way to do it. Or same answer, two different ways of doing it, I should say. Okay? Alright. Turn the page. I'm going to give you guys your assignment. I would like you to work on this for the remainder of class. Okay? So, let's see here. We're going to start with number 11 on page 321. I want you to find number 11, number 12. Okay. Turn the page then. I'd also like you to try 13 and 14 as well. Excuse me. 15. And let's have you do 18 here as well with the ladder. Okay? So again, 11 through 15 basically, and then 18. Okay, 11 through 15, 18. Go ahead and get started on that, please. Some of you guys, if you're quick, that'll be homework if you don't finish it. That's right.
Wait, which one is it?
I'm going to write it down.
I mean, 11, 15 is already passed, not passed.
And it's page 321. Thank you. To 323. Okay, so please go ahead and get started on that. Okay, please get started on that. And I'll come around and help as necessary. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Yeah. No, I know. It's kind of like saying the same thing twice in that, so.